the Republicans have really been flapping their gums about the Biden crime family as they have started describing them. But Matt Gaetz sort of peeled back the curtain and gave us some insight as to why they're trying to impeach Joe Biden by saying that it's not because we actually want to remove him from office, but we want to put on a show for the American people. He said this in a statement. The purpose of the impeachment from my standpoint is not to force a vote that loses, it's to put on a trial in the Senate. And by the way, not for the sake of conviction. Continues on in that statement and says, the purpose of the impeachment to me is to use the Senate as the stage, but they're not the jury. The jury is the American people. And if we had the Senate as the stage and the platform for James Comer to put on his evidence and advance this impeachment, it will not result in a conviction, but the true verdict can still be rendered by the American people. Now, what they're claiming they're doing is they're investigating the Biden family for its connections to foreign nationals. And here's a statement regarding that. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer has overseen Republicans' investigation into the Biden family and has sought to connect the president to his son Hunter Biden's income from foreign nationals. So far, witness testimony and bank records haven't established such a connection. Now, it's why this is hypocritical is because we have quite a bit of evidence about Jared Kushner's relationships with foreign nationals. From Salon, economic analyst Stephen Ratner on Monday shared a pie chart showing that all but 1% of the $3 billion in investments in former President Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner's private equity firm, Affinity Partners, came from foreign sources after he spent much of his White House tenure cozying up to Saudi Arabia and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And just to give you an idea, let's put that pie chart up there because it's shocking. $2 billion came from Saudi Arabia. 200 million each from Qatar and the UAE, and then $625 from all other non-US. That tiny sliver at the top, that tiny itty bitty sliver that you can barely see because it's so inconsequential. $31 million of this is from United States investors. Now, I mean, Jackson,
that's so telling.
Right, I couldn't think of a more hypocritical thing for them to do.
And the fact that so little came from the US is so telling of how politically motivated those investments were and how undeserving of those investments that he is, such that he can't raise any money in his domestic market. Too big, and again, going into the type of country that Saudi Arabia is and all that. But there's no arguing here. It's like, oh, so you can't get nothing going here, but in countries like this where kings rule basically, and they have an iron grip. Oh, okay, so that's what's up. But the funniest thing to me about this is, the whataboutism that's played. The Trump family still comes out worse. You know what I'm saying? Like the Biden crime family. Donald Trump's father set up that empire, and he was a lot better at it too. I got to hand it to him. He was a whole lot better at the game. You know what I'm saying? He was a real player in the game. And then he dookied out his son, and he spoiled everything. And crime after crime after crime, ripping off thousands of people. We all know what Donald Trump has done, so it just doesn't stack up. But again, the Jared Kushner thing is just like, what are we even talking about here? And again, that still doesn't exonerate the Trump family. Y'all could just go find somebody else, but no, they don't care. They're not trying to do that.
And it's such a goofy messaging, in my opinion, because there's literally no evidence that Joe Biden has, enriched himself from. Of course, was Hunter Biden sitting on these boards of these companies because his last name is Biden? Of course he was. What the hell does he know about an oil and gas company? Nothing. But I mean, does that mean that he his father negotiated that? There's no evidence of that. That Joe Biden profited off of it? No evidence of that. Jared Kushner, the evidence is right before our very eyes.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.